What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. When I tell you that Sinners is so good, oh my goodness. I just got done watching it and it is such a good movie. Now, personally, I feel like they could have like done away with the vampires. I'm not a scary movie person. I didn't think it was that scary. Like it wasn't that typical, you know, Candyman, Jason, that type of scary. I feel like because of the history and the background, really focusing on, the South and combating good versus evil and just all these different dynamics. You guys, this movie was so, so, so good. Ryan Coogler is a genius. Michael B. Jordan, I feel like this was the best I've ever seen him on film. Everybody, I mean, just the cinematography, the music, it was so good. I love the juke joint scene. That's a part of my family. Like my family's from down south. Juke joints and pig, fish fries and pig roast, and I love a good hole in the wall, y'all. Still to this day, I'm not gonna lie. One of my favorite memories is me and my friends when we were younger having a road trip and going to New Orleans. She went to Dillard University. Shout out to Dillard. But we all visited during spring break, and the food there was so good. I was like, oh my gosh, if I lived here, I'd probably be like 500 pounds. I mean, I had everything, you know, just gumbo and etouffee and crawfish, and the people were so warm and the food was just so delicious. Anyway, because I'm starting to get hungry again. But I saw Sinners today and it did not disappoint. But what I wanted to highlight was this beautiful, letter that Brian penned to, the fans, the cast, the crew, his family, just everybody who supported him. Because a lot of people are going to go see the movie multiple times, and the IMAX theater. He really broke down, just how he learned to shoot on different film reels while he was in film school. And so he also just recognizes so many other directors that have come before him and inspired him. And I just wanted to take the time because Ryan is so humble. If you guys remember or know his backstory, his wife paid for $300 software for a screenplay, his first screenplay, and he couldn't afford it at that time, that $300 screenplay software, and she bought it for him. And now, of course, we know that he is, a multimillionaire. Um, and of course, still with his supportive wife. But I love that. I love Black Love. I love, watching him grow from working with Michael B. Jordan over a decade ago in his first movie, Fruitville Station, which I have to be completely transparent. I still have not watched that movie. That movie, Fruitville Station, is probably a lot more scary than this one. Okay, people were saying that even though this was a quote unquote horror movie, it's more like a Jordan Peele type of style. Like I didn't find Get Out to be a horror movie, even though it was considered that, or like Us. Us was a bit more gory, but anyway, um, but Fruitville Station was, I heard it was really traumatic, and a lot of people were appreciating the fact that this movie is not traumatic, but it does go into just the history of Black Americans, specifically Southern Black Americans. That's so important, that cotton on that pin there by that letter. But I'm going to read you the letter because I thought it was so touching. I'm like, let me share this with my people, with my aces, because that's, his wife was his ace boom coon from day one. He says at the top, he says, eternal gratitude. My heart is bursting with it. I want to thank each and every one of you who bought a ticket to see Sinners, who decided to drive to see the film in different formats, who bought popcorn and a drink, booked a sitter and carpooled and stood in the lobby afterwards and talked and made a friend who changed their work schedules, who saw the film in groups. I want to thank you all who watched more than once, who recommended the film to others, both in person and on social media, or your text message chains. I had the gift of the opportunity of making a film inspired by my family and my ancestry, but it was always a film we wanted to make for audiences and theaters. We always had our minds on you, the audience, and felt a deep responsibility to entertain you and to move you in a way that only cinema can. When I tell, just a side note, when I tell y'all this movie was so entertaining, I'm probably gonna watch it multiple times. I'm probably gonna be one of the people he's talking about, because it was so good. I would be, I can't even say I would be really surprised, but if it doesn't win Best Picture at the Oscars, I'm gonna be disappointed because um just the A rating that they got on Rotten Tomatoes, I feel like they almost got a perfect score, and it is, breaking records left and right, and so many people are so excited about it. Of course, myself included. Now I'm a huge fan of the movie, but he absolutely blew me away. I cannot wait for, Black Panther 3 and just other films he has down the line. Okay, back to the letter. He says in the third paragraph, I believe in cinema. I believe in the theatrical experience. I believe it is a necessary pillar of society. It's why me and so many of my colleagues have dedicated our lives to the craft. We don't get to do what we do if you don't show up. The global theatrical audience has allowed me to dream, find a career, and build a more sustainable life for me and my family. And the only way that I know how to do that or how to thank you for that is by continuing to mine my personal human experience and my relationships for more stories to bring to you in cinematic language. To see your response to the film has reinvigorated me and many others who believe in this art form. For this script, this crew, and this cast, I dug deep into myself and reached back into my ancestors who breathed so much life and purpose into me. I also unabashedly reached toward my cinematic influences, including but not limited to Spike Lee, John Singleton, Ernie Barnes, Steve McQueen, Ava DuVernay. I'm He lists like so many people: Quentin Tarantino, Jordan Peele, John Carpenter, Steven Spielberg, all the way down to like, Ta-Nehisi Coates, Martin Scorsese, Wes Craven, and so many others. You guys can take the time to read all the names, but he basically, just pays homage to those who have come before him. The next paragraph says, every time you show up to theaters, you allow us to come back and do it again. And together, maybe we can expand the definition of what a blockbuster is, what a horror movie is, and of what an IMAX audience looks like. I'll see you at the movies, popcorn bucket in hand. With many thanks, fellowship, and love, Ryan Coogler. P.S. Much has been made about my 13-year partnership with Michael B. Jordan, my 17-year partnership with Ludwig Göransson, and my near lifelong partnership with Zinzi Coogler. That's his wife. But I want to shout out Michael Schraver. I don't know how to say his last name. Sharver, our picture editor, who I've been working with for 15 years. Michael did exceptional work on this film that isn't being talked about enough, and he missed the press tour to spend time with his beautiful kid. Want to highlight him and thank him too. So that's a picture of all of them at the bottom. That is so sweet. Listen, if you guys haven't seen the movie yet, and I'm not a big, like I said, I'm not a big, gore horror movie. I don't like all that crap, but I do like this movie a lot because of the themes. And I don't want to spoil it for any of you. That's why I'm not talking too much about it. I wanted to originally make a recap, but I'm like, no, it's still in theaters. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to recap it and accidentally give something away, or just, I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. So what I will say is I appreciate, like he said, paying homage to the past, um just bringing new stories um, to light, to cinema, because this is an original film. And when I say it's broken records, I think they said this is the highest rating opening weekend for an original film in, I don't know, just in a long time. Maybe over 10 or plus years, more years, even to the point where, Ben Stiller, the actor, he had to kind of, check Variety a little bit. They were getting a lot of backlash because they were saying that, even though it was receiving positive reviews, it still has a long way to go before, it meets the goal of like profitability. And Ryan Coogler, he actually took back ownership of his work, and he's going to own the film completely outright after 25 years from Warner Brothers. Um, he's not only getting, gross, getting paid up front from the first ticket sold, but he's also getting that back end deal. And so a lot of people were saying that this is monumental. Quentin Tarantino did the same thing in the past, and of course, he didn't shake Hollywood like Ryan is. Um, but Ryan touches on themes of ownership within this film. Now that I've watched them, like that's exactly what Ryan was talking about. Owning your art is so important, especially for Black artists, right? Because I mean, the music industry, the entertainment industry is so predatory, right? We hear people all the time, especially Black talent, they can sell out, arenas. They can sell, that's why Prince changed his name, right, from Prince to the artist formerly known as Prince, and then he wrote "Slave" on his cheekbone. Michael Jackson talked about it. TLC, we all know their story about going broke. Tony Braxton, the list goes on and on. And it's just like, so many of our Black artists, and that and they touch on it directly within the film. I don't want to, like I said, give too many. I don't want to give spoilers, but it's so important because Ryan stood on business. So not only did he bring that to life, in his artwork, but he's also a man of his word. And this deal that he made with Warner Brothers gives him ownership, and it's so 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 important. I love the Cotton Pin. I love the movie. If you guys haven't seen it, please go out and see it. It's not scary. I mean, to me, I can't speak for anybody else, but it didn't scare me at all. What it did was it actually served as inspiration to, really work on my art, um, and, my writing and just different projects that I've been putting on the back burner. But to get those done and to, you know, work on a portfolio, creative portfolio, that I can own outright. And so he was talking about how we reinvigorated him, when in turn, I feel like he inspired and reinvigorated a lot of us, myself included. So I was like, well, let me make some, create some content and thank Ryan Coogler for his vision, his art, his mind, sharing his story, his ancestry, with us. Thank his wife for supporting him and buying him that $300, software back in the day and sticking with him through all these years. 17 years, that's a blessing. Michael B. Jordan, like I said, he was phenomenal. I feel like this is the pinnacle of his career. Not to say that he can't top it, but from what we've seen so far, this is my best. This is what I think the best he's been on screen. So, all in all, I would love to see them have an Oscar sweep during the time, the political climate that we're in. Probably not. I feel like they should have swept the Oscars with Black Panther. Ruth was also, she was the Oscar winner, and she designed their costume. She did a phenomenal job, as she always does. She's a two-time Oscar winner with this movie as well. But just everybody, like all the actresses, just like I said, the juke joint scene was just amazing. You guys just have to go see it. It's not a long drawn out movie. The whole thing actually happened. The plot is just in one day, like Friday. That's one of my old school classic favorite movies as well. Friday happened one full day. This one full day. So you guys, let me know your thoughts. If you have seen it, please let me know. I want to hear from you. If you have seen it though, don't leave any spoilers. But if you have not seen it, you guys go see it. It's so worth it. Anyway, thank you again, Ryan Coogler. You guys, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will talk with you in the next one. Take care, Aces. Bye.